Yeah.
So this static model consists of 4 interfaces, 1 user interface, 1 control, 1 application logic, 6 entities, and 1 proxy. The 4 interface, CEO, staff, nurse, and doctor can log in and out with the employee interface. The CEO interface has an operation that can be checked by receiving a report from the report entity, and the staff interface has an operation that can write and record payment information and information that can be reserved, modified, canceled by accessing the operation. Also, the nurse and doctor interface has operations that can add and change patient information, and the doctor interface has treat operation that doctor can attach record. So these 4 interfaces are carried out through logging to the system. The login to system access is accessed by the system through the employee interface, and employee interface has an operation to write and read patient record. Through the system class, all the entity of treatment record, appointment, payment, and patient is operated. So the treatment records are written and modified through the access to the nurse and doctor interface, and the appointment operation are executed by staff interface. And the payment entity is written and record the payment information after checking payment information and payment method through patient entity on staff interface, and payment is made when the bank permission and reference number are created. The payment information is stored account entity, account entity, and patient can take the receipt and invoice and check from the account entity detail. And the no-show operation is the system clear daily no-show appointment by the time class. The system generates a daily report from the time entity signal, and the report entity prepare a report summarizing hospital work on that day. So CEO interface check the report for the report entity after logging into the system. Yeah.
Nice. Awesome. Now we can go to the next part.
Okay, the communication diagrams.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me know if this works. Oh.
Yeah. If you need, yeah, I think now we can share your screen too.
I can't do it while Dongjin's is up there still.
Okay.
Oh, wait, here we go.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna do you. All right, can y'all see it?
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. So the first example of the communication diagram could be the change appointment diagram. So basically, the staff would first enter the patient's name into the system, would pass it through the interface into the system manager and up into the patient's information, and it would then return that patient's information back to the staff. The staff would then enter the doctor name who the patient made an appointment with, and it would pass that all the way through to the doctor interface and return their available dates and times. From there, the staff could ask the customer, or the customer, if what days work for them, and they could enter that date and time back into the system, and it would store it under the appointment, and it would update that information, and the appointment would be changed. And then the next use case would be the check-in patient. So it would start off again with the staff. They would enter the patient's name and date of birth into the system. It would first check to make sure that the staff is using the correct login and has permission to be using it. But once that is accomplished, the patient's name and date of birth would be passed through to the patient, to the patient's information, and the system would return their phone number, or gosh, I'm sorry. It would display all of their information that's currently in the system. The staff could then enter the patient's information, like their address, phone number, social security, and health insurance, and basically just update it, make any changes that the patient needs. Then it would display that chart to, or the patient's chart to the staff updated. Staff would then enter the doctor's name into the patient chart. Would attach their treatment record. It would get permission to use it, and then the treatment record would be returned. It would attach it and be ready for whenever the doctor, I guess, treats the patient. It would create the entire patient information tab for them, and it would also initiate the payment process. Once the patient is officially checked in, it would then delete the appointment from the system, since it is, I guess, essentially started or complete. It doesn't need to be started again in the future. And then those are the two use cases, I guess.
Awesome. We can go to the third.
Can you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so this is the software architecture for the system. First, there is the employee. He'll be able to input and receive output from the employee client subsystem, which contains the different user interfaces, or the different interfaces for the different job titles. And then the employee interface will communicate with the application logic system, or that contains the subsystem that contains the application logic. For the employee client subsystem, you can see that it contains the 4 different interfaces for the CEO, staff, nurse, and doctor. The nurse and doctor work together, so they will be able to communicate with each other and work on the same database tables. And then in the subsystem, for the application logic, the control timer sends a signal to the application logic, and then from there the application logic communicates with the report to generate the report through the patient information and the treatment record. And then in the patient entity, it also contains the account information for the patient. Also, the application logic handles the payment, so it'll send the card information to the payment, and then eventually to the bank's interface, where it'll return the reference number and store all that into the payment record. And then for the databases, can you see the databases now?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's up.
So here's the sample appointment table. You can see that it has an appointment number, which is the primary key. It's an auto number, so it just increments with every row that's added. And it also contains the patient ID, which is a number that is assigned in the patient chart. And then it also has the date and time, as well as the doctor's name for the appointment. And then here's the sample patient chart. This contains the patient ID, which is a number that refers to the patient. And then it also has the patient name, the reason for visit, weight, height, blood pressure, and then the treatment method and prescription that the doctor can update. Here's the patient table that contains all the patient's general information. So it creates the patient ID based on the number of patients they already have in the system. So it's an auto number. And then it contains the name, phone number, address, and then the gender of the patient. And then the payment record stores the payments that the healthcare center has processed. So it is a payment ID that is an auto number, so it increments with every transaction. And then it stores the patient ID for reference to who paid, and then a reference number that they received from the bank,
Mhm.
and the amount of the purchase, the payment type, so cash, credit, debit, and then the
Mhm.
date, time of the transaction.
Mhm.
Then the overall summary report is generated daily. At the end of the day, it contains the doctor's name, the total number of patients that they served, as well as the amount earned for the day.
Makes sense. Awesome. Awesome. 1 second. Uh, 1 second. Yeah, I am going to share the program working. The CEO first of all enters in. You can see his daily report that is made at the end of the day. Second, we are looking into right now about a staff. Staff can do multiple things, right? Basically making an appointment, changing an appointment, canceling an appointment, checking a patient in. For now, we can see staff is entering the patient information. You can also update the information, cancel the appointment, and after that, staff can also enter the measurements of the appointment. After that, we see the nurse. Nurse can we are waiting now. Nurse can enter and update the patient information, and which will be seen by the doctor. Now we can see the doctor is yeah. He can open his he can open the patient file basically, and then put in all the information about the patient that he needs to, which could mean which would be stored as his history. You can also enter treatment notes and such kind of points, or what medicines he needs to be given to the patient. And the nurse can basically open the same file and see and updates the file.